Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'ma flick up. Feel I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I just stay up. Look, straight from the mud like Ruby. Straight to the stage, they love me. I understand they hungry, but please don't hate, that's ugly. I've been sliding, shaking, moving. I've been popping in my city. Shawty say she love the way we do it with me. I be too turned up to ever give a fuck. I ain't come to argue, let a nigga fuck. They been talking pennies, I need bigger bucks. About to catch a flight, I need to switch it up. Got that black boy joy, might do my dance on him. Take no disrespect, might put my hands on him. Hit this chicken, now she wanna marry me. But she gon' need some closure and some therapy. Came back to the city with my bank account on F. Giving rappers hell, I know they happy that I left. Hit the south in winter, I just put down my deposit. 82 degrees, I left that jacket in my closet. Feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'ma.
Peace, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Hold the Heat. I am your host, Isaiah McCoy, and with me today, I have Mr. Batman and Mr. Smoke D, two great individuals from our community, man. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, let them know what they got going on.
I'm Batman. My name is Albert Donelson. We got a lot going on. I had to think about that, but we got a chance in the Trust Non-Profit Foundation that we as our own foundation. Plus, we work for a non-profit foundation, One Voice. We're consulting for One Voice. So like, we doing music. We're doing a lot of traveling, a lot of talking to crowds, and just meeting different people. Doing different venues, and trying to get the word out about voting, voter registration. It's a lot of things we're doing. So I ain't gonna be too long when I'm gonna get to my man.
Like Bay said, we have a 501c3 corporation set up called A Chance and a Choice, and it's a situation to where we bring people together. We use relativity to bring solidarity to people that we know and we learn. It kind of puts us in a position to where the people that are willing, if it's not for you, it's not for you. And we go out into the community, do outreach block parties, and we try to connect the whole line. In the most impoverished neighborhoods, you have people that are incarcerated. And so we go into the schools, even down to the children. We go into the schools with proctors, and we try to relate from 8 to 80. We even got a situation where we're going to be going into the prison system. You see, and going in there and hopefully, he'd like to be called warden. He'll let us bring the programs back in there that will be conducive to helping incarcerated people as well. So,
and it's powerful work, bro. It's powerful work, man. And I can just say from personal experience, working in community, it's a great job to have, but it's also very taxing, man. Like, I know it's taxing dealing with our folks sometimes, bro. I know and I understand it. So, like, my question to y'all is, how do y'all, what inspired y'all to start this work? What made y'all really say, okay, look, we want to build something that we can own, we love, you know what I'm saying? What made y'all inspired to do that work? And two, how do y'all deal with the stress of that work? How do y'all, what motivates y'all to keep going with the work, you know what I'm saying?
For me, I had been doing the work, but I just wasn't wholeheartedly into it. It was something that I was, how you teasing, you're messing with it, but you really ain't sure this is what you really want to do. And I guess this last time I went to prison and got 20 years and I didn't touch nobody, but I understood why I was in that situation. I had to stand fast. I understand that. Listen, man, you did a lot of things. You it's some things that people don't know you done. you know, and this might be your turn right here to accept your lick, you know, and that's part of like I show accepting your lick, taking your responsibility about the situation and the problem that's going on in your life. Everything don't be caused by you, but you damn sure know that you put yourself in that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you say that first question was, what was it, the first question?
Oh yeah, it was what inspired you to start the work?
This is what inspired me to start the work. I got my son, you know, and once I got my son, I was sitting and looking at him in the house. It was just me and him by ourselves, and I was sitting there, and I was like, what I'm gonna do? Now, what I'm used to doing is getting in the street hustling. I'm a king at that. I can get out there and make $20,000, $30,000 in 2 or 3 days if I really wanted to get out there and do that. But at the same time, if I get caught, where that leaves my son? You see what I'm saying? So then I started doing the math on my age. I say most black men live, expected living is 70 years without getting killed, robbed, shot, something like that. There's a natural cause, 70 to 75 years old. Hey, I'm 49. So now I'm looking at this from a wide view now. I'm not just looking tunnel vision and thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? If I go to jail, my little man gonna be out here. See, his mother not here. He done ran through everything else and don't nobody else want him now. This my son, I gotta deal with him. So that alone inspired me just looking at my son and saying, what could I do to leave a footprint on this world and for my son to follow and people like this, not just the bad stuff they heard about me, but the good stuff.
So leaving your mark. And
right.
Also, you taking care of what you had to do, responsibility.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And what about you, Smokey? What inspired you?
Life. I think that it took my life to change me before I changed my life. Mm-hmm. If I could look at it the right way. And what I mean is I was blind and I was doing things and I didn't know what the end result of those things was going to be.
Right.
And I landed myself in prison for 17 years. But I guess it's how you attack it and how you look at it. I didn't look at it as a curse. It gave me an opportunity to develop myself mentally, to really see the world for what it is. And then, like, in the process, I learned the difference between the price of something and the cost of something. See, when I went to prison, my family went to prison with me, right? My mom, they had to come, they had to worry. So the price was me paying for anything I could do. I'm a stand-up young dumb fool. I'm ready to do whatever, right? Okay? But in the process, I watched my children grow up on pictures. That's the cost, right? I get out my son, you see, so that's kind of my motivation. In order to do that, I have to stay out of jail and I have to do something besides sell drugs to stay out of jail. So this is a part of why, too, because I don't want to go back to jail personally and be away from my family. This man here.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's a lock in and I like I told Roz at the field, man. But I told Roz, I said, Roz, when I was doing bad, I was a bad motherfucker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I take that rap all day. I was a bad motherfucker when I did what I did. Bad. Just imagine me doing good. I'm going to be a bad motherfucker.
They doing good.
That's right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it like that and the standpoints that you take and you stand on them, the people behind you understand you. See, sometimes you have to be that person that go out and see and show everybody. Right. See? And being that person, I only become like, in the streets when I was doing it, I was a boss. I still got that boss mentality. But a boss is financially. See, he wants his financials. That's what a boss is. Right. But I was naturally a leader. That's the only way I could lead 20 or 30 dudes with me. You see what I'm saying? And leading them dudes, I understood their lives are in my hand. And when you lose one of them friends or partners, that's why you have a lot of stuff that go on there with young cats. It's the same thing. But a lot of things, if they can think about it and have conflict and resolution in their life, knowing there's going to be conflicts. But how do you go about solving them? Do you always have to pull the gun and do that? Right. Throw your life away. You know what I'm saying? And see, when I was in boss mode, that's that mentality. Crash out. Whoever it is, don't care who is up there. It leave. You the op is whatever. Who with you is whatever. You know. But when you become normalized, you normalize yourself, and you start to look deep within yourself, and you start to pay attention to things that you did was also selfish, was also about you. It wasn't about everybody around, even though you might say that, but everything was about you, see? So now when I step out, I want to be unselfish. I want everything to be about the people around me, the community, the neighborhood. You know, I don't have nothing against police. You know, back then when I was on the Boston, yeah, because I was doing what I was doing. And now, like, I understand the police job, not the ones that's doing wrong, the ones that's doing good. They're here to protect, you know, and you have to call these people, because if you just think of police-less world.
A lawless world.
A lawless world.
Yeah.
Imagine having to shoot that.
And even with the stuff now, I can only imagine. But I want to speak to that point, like,
right.
I feel like if we realize that lawlessness and policeness, and like you can have laws and not have police. It just depends on the community that you're in. It depends on the mentality that your community is part of. You know what I'm saying? And my biggest question, like even to myself and just for others, is like, how do we? I know the first step of everything, any evolution is education. You gotta have knowledge yourself. You gotta have it. At some point down the line, we lost it as a people, as a community. They taught us to hate ourselves. They taught us to act in that mentality of if I can't have it, nobody can. You know what I'm saying? I got to get rid of you to have it. So where does the repair start? Like, what steps do y'all see as the older generation, that the younger generation can take to build towards unity again? Like, realize unity. Because like we were talking about before the mics was on, 14-year-old getting sentenced for homicide. You know what I'm saying? Killing each other. You know, the shootings at the carnival. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just like, what steps do y'all see from the mistakes that were made earlier, or not even mistakes, the lessons that was learned? Because I don't even like calling them mistakes, but the lessons that was learned in the generation before us. What lessons would y'all pass down to us that y'all see? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know the best way to explain it, but.
Again, like I said this earlier this morning on our show, nobody gonna think any higher than their conscious level gonna allow them to. So you write about the information, but the information is like, okay, wisdom is the application of knowledge. You have to learn it, and then once you apply it, it becomes wisdom, right? Right. So it's more so the moral content. And then don't get me wrong, brother. Everything got its process, and it's you either walking in it, you in it, or you coming out. And I like to say in this day and time, we coming out of it because more people are being awoke, or waking up, so to speak. So I think that if us, black folks specifically, if we can come together and take the division from within, the way we look at ourselves, the way we've been subconsciously conditionalized with psychological slavery, right? That's going to take it here, because you got to think about it first, then do it. So they got to know, and it's us. I think more so the biggest thing is what we doing now. We are part of the solution right now as we speaking, right? And so that's the part of it, and it just takes more of us doing more of this. I think that would be the answer, because if you got a collectivized mind that's thinking the same way, the more, the merrier, so to speak. So it's the black men that I speak of, right? Yeah. So I think that would be a good way. It was a good question, bro.
Cause knowledge is wisdom.
It was a great knowledge is applying wisdom, like, and I might write that down and use that as an inspirational quote, because people fail to realize that book smarts and common sense don't synchronize. They're not the same thing all the time. I know plenty of book smart people couldn't find their way out of 5 Mile.
Bro, you're right. You're right.
They could go to college for 20 years, know how to do everything in the world, But that's education. That's not intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
And like just like you speak of, when you have these people that went on, they're smart to a point of methodology and operation, but to life skills and life lessons in the world, they're always going to attack that intelligence.
Right.
They're always going to attack, and that's going to be the thing. You know, ignorance is always going to attack intelligence anywhere you go. And then it's the part of understanding that the lack thereof. You got to understand that most folk ain't gonna understand, and that's your understanding. And so, like, I mean, it takes more than us, but it takes a lot of guys like us, you know. So.
Right, cause like you know the song, right? We got called "Crown Me." The song, when we do it, people think we talking about crown us. We talking about you an actual king, she an actual queen. You see what I'm saying? Crown yourself. If you doing what you supposed to do, I'm talking about at the household, at home, for your community, for yourself. You're not a subtraction. You're an addition to this.
Right.
See, you want to be. We was at a show, right?
Right.
Event for the NAACP. Shout out to the showman Lim, right?
Yeah,
one for us. We at this, and she was getting the award, man. And you know, just seeing the showman get the award and be a part of it with her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Go on that journey with her life. You feel what I'm talking about? And the thing was game changer. And the showman, one of them, she a game changer. Right. We're one of them. We're game changers. We need more game changers. That was the message to us in that banquet they had. Right. So I understood the message. I understand the assignment read 9. I don't need to cheat or do none of this. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. You know, like when I wake up, I can't tell you what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I just show up and do it. I honestly be like that. Yeah. We were just in the car. He said, "Man, are you tired of we just get up and do this and do that?" I was just like, "Yeah," but guess what? That's how it's gonna get done. That's how it's happening. Yeah. You know, God put things in front of you. He only wants you to walk a blind faith. Right. If you can't walk a blind faith, then you don't believe in God. If you got to see it to believe, you're not that person. See what I'm saying? You got to believe here. Yeah. You got to see it here. You got to live it here, so it can manifest. Yeah.
And I feel that, and that was going. It actually kind of lead into my next question that I had for y'all. Like, at what point did you realize that? Because I remember y'all talking about earlier, like prison being a big mental forge. Like, it was a time to forge your body, but your mind. Like, I know that's one of the worst environments you can be in ever. You know what I'm saying? So like, how did it look to like transition from the mentality that you had and change it to like develop into what it is today? You know what I'm saying? And either one of y'all can answer with it.
Oh man, a lot of conditioned responses going to prison. It's like living the same day over and over, except for people say different stuff. Somebody might come, somebody might go. I think that words, reading, what broke me and opened my mind up, and I can only speak to this, I had a Bible, and I did music, had a music background. I had a thesaurus, I had a dictionary, and I had a rhyming dictionary, and I had any book of my choice that was realistic. I didn't do the fairy tale. Yeah. I got into Naeem Akbar. I got into, Behold the Pale Horse. I got into things that were applicable that I could learn from that possibly could happen in the world once I got out. And so once I started gathering that information and learning words and being able to understand what I was reading, then it opened my mind up. And once it opened my mind up, I got to a general usage of words to where I could know what a word means just on the root. I learned, and my mind opened through reading, I guess is what I'm going to say. A lot of different stuff. And then so once that happened, I was able to communicate on a broader scale, right? You see, and express myself more. So that's kind of what prison did for me. The best thing I learned in there was to read and take a shower, bro. That was the best thing going for me. So, yeah.
It's powerful.
Man, prison, man, I can't say enough about prison because I've been locked up all my life. You know what I'm saying? I've been getting locked up ever since I was 12 years old. I've been to every training school, Oakland Training School, Columbia Training School, from there to penitentiaries, county jails, federal penitentiary. I was a late bloomer. You know, you got people sometimes they just hungry. I was the hungry person. I was like, I'm gonna show you I can do it this way. And you know, you bump your head so many times, and a lot of people don't make it through. How many times I just told you I've been in, you know, in and out of prison. Right. A lot of people don't make it because they get lost in prison. And a lot of people out of prison lost in prison. They mind still trapped. They still doing the same thing. They don't elevate. They don't evolve. Right. They stuck. See, you got to be able to move forward and adapt. You can't adapt, you're going to drown. Simple. You know, anything that you do, if you can't adapt to it, you can't reinvent yourself, you're not moving forward. You're putting yourself in the box, and that's on you. So, like being in prison, I learned that not to put myself in the box. Giving myself, Hayes tells them that now I know what I was doing without knowing then. Right. Giving myself room to operate. You have to give yourself room to operate, because if you don't, everybody around you going to crowd you out. That's how the penitentiary is. If you're not man enough to stand up for that room, you won't have that room. You see? So, like, going in prison and learning things like the time being gone. My mama died while I was in prison. My family never sent me nothing while I was in prison. And I was the one that took care of everybody when I was out. Right. They wanted a car, I brought a car for them. You see what I'm saying? This is all through the boss mode, you feel me? So like, when I did all that, I was angry with everybody because of what I did for everybody. And I felt like everybody owed me. They didn't owe me nothing. To be honest, just keep it real. They didn't owe me not one thing. But I was angry with everybody because I never got nothing, never sent me nothing. And that alone, when my mama died, started making me pay attention. That I ain't got nobody else that got truly my back. Right. My mama got my back. I know whatever I do, she got my back. Right. So when losing my mama, I started to gain that third eye intelligence. I started thinking about, like, if it ain't worth it, if this ain't worth whatever it is for me, then I'm not messing with it. I'm not gonna do it. You know, when I would take the risk, like just coming out doing the right thing. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah,
most definitely, bro. And on both real powerful points, man. I can only imagine, like, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, like you said, like you just spoke to, a lot of people go through that and never find their way out of it. And like that's a real not enticing, excuse me, that's the wrong word to use, but that's a real powerful trap. Right. Like, that's something that I feel like as a community, we really need to focus more on our people that's incarcerated, bro, because like we don't really treat our people well.
We're doing it, bro. We doing it.
But man, we gonna get right back to this point. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, y'all, and we'll get right back to it.
SGECOVIDsolutions.com is paving the way forward for a safer city government, delivering cutting-edge biosecurity and biosafety protocols developed internationally by top virologists and scientists using an all-natural cleaning solution, killing COVID-19 on contact like no other product on the international market. For more information, please call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECOVIDsolutions.com. Let SGECOVIDsolutions.com provide innovative rapid facilities testing and world-class state-of-the-art biorisk safety protocols for all of your coronavirus needs. Call 1-800-281-9080 or visit us online at SGECOVIDsolutions.com.
Hi, I'm Q Talicia Garrett. I am here to introduce our New South Development and Training Outreach Hour every Tuesday at 2 p.m., giving you information on how to become a part of the programs through USDA and Farm Service Agency. We can be reached at 678-779-9468. We can also be found online at newsouthoutreach.com.
Welcome back, y'all. So yeah, just leaving from where we was taking off from where we left off. My question from y'all would be like, talking about that, like incarcerated people are very forgotten in our community nowadays.
Right.
And personally, I feel like it's a lot more that we can do ourselves just like as the community that isn't incarcerated, like to help and guide people that are going along this path. Because I got incarcerated family members that like been in and out the system and don't feel like they got no other choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part of the reason why I'm trying to start up businesses, trying to start up work, is because if we don't provide these opportunities and resources to our community and to the folks that we feel like is valuable, and show them that they are valuable, that they are loved, that they don't have to, you know. Right. They don't have to partake in the system. You know what I'm saying? How do we show that? How do we give those people access to those resources? What do y'all feel like when y'all had to endure that? What was something that y'all really felt like y'all needed? You know what I'm saying? That y'all didn't get.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we recently had a meeting with Commissioner Kane over MDOC, and he gave us the verbal go-ahead to allow us to go back into the prison and bring some programs in there. So our first stop supposedly is supposed to be Rankin County. We're going to go back in there, and with us being, you know, incarcerated for that amount of time, you know, able to understand the things that they need. I mean, they need legal counsel. You know, there's a program for that. Bro Kane, he just implemented a program that exonerates the population of the ones that's incarcerated, they can vote, right? And so we bring in, hell, we're going to even try to get a studio idea in there. You see what I'm saying? We want to bring programs that not only teach them how to work, but also how to live. Right. See, because it's one thing to teach them how to work, but if they don't have the moral content and the right type of character, they're not going to be able to socialize on no job with somebody. You got guys that's been living in a micro society of men for 20 years. They different. They need psychological help, transitional psychological, those type things. Right. You don't take a person out of black and put him in green and expect him to know how green is, and he never been there, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So those are the kind of things, maybe, but we're already pushing forth efforts towards that, right? And to connect not only the people that's incarcerated, because we know that they come from the most impoverished neighborhoods. So you connect with the neighborhoods, right, and you connect all the way across the board. Right. You see? Because a lot of these people, like Bat said, they have a life sentence in their mind and they ain't never been incarcerated before. So it has to work all the way across the board for it, you know, that's just me. So, yeah.
You got to have a support system. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of things that like, when you go in prison, we've been in prison, I've been a number of times growing, like I tried growing up in them. You got Christian support system. They come in that prison and actually sit down and have talks with these guys. And these guys look forward to these people coming. Right. And the same thing that we're trying to bring to the prison, like, okay, like, you throwing all these guys away and you throwing them under the banner of a gang. And we both know that Vice Law and Gangster not a gang. That's just what you quoted there, because Vice Law and Gangster got rules and regulations, code of conduct. Right. So they operate. And it just to take it a little bit back, right after the Black Panther was infiltrated by the FBI, you had the almighty CVL. This was endorsed. This was giving government money to these organizations that weren't called gangs, that are called gangs now. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Right. So now, if we are allowed to talk to the guys that's in these situations, as I'm talking about in the position they in, because there's some guys in power position in the prisons, and they think the way that I'm talking, you know, right. And we allow them an outlet, you know, to understand, okay, you are able to operate on a legitimized tent. You ain't got to operate this way. Right. Everybody, they get caught up in their situation except your lick. See, when I said something about the police, one thing I person, man, why you always say the police? Because you need police around. Just be honest. If you right now, police disappear, everybody go wild. We gonna have to get a Brucat book, a blockade up in there somewhere. We gotta get guns. It's gonna be Walking Dead all over again. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same time, like, you have to pay attention, because like, people coming out of prison, they want to do good. When I come out of prison, I want to do right. But life didn't allow me to, or so I thought life didn't allow me to, because I wasn't ready to go work. See, I got a job at the age of 33, and that was under the direction of the FBI when I had to go down there and pee in their cup. See, They say, hey, you don't get a job today, we're gonna lock you up, and then we're gonna find you a job, and you're gonna go do that job. Locally, government, state-wise, they don't have a system like that that makes you do that. That's why the federal system guidelines, they percentage is high.
Right.
People gonna go out and try to get jobs. They're gonna make this. That's because they go and make them do that.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't got no job, you going back in. You gonna do your time here.
Yeah.
If you got 5 years probation, we're gonna start it right here. So then you got a lot of people starting to think then, I gotta get a job if I wanna be free. Don't nobody wanna be locked up.
Right.
You catch anybody wanna be locked up, that's a clown.
Yeah.
I tell them in the face, they're a clown.
Yeah.
Cause I don't wanna be locked up.
Right. No,
And I've been locked up a lot of times
Right.
to say that. And I know somebody say, if you don't wanna be locked up, why you keep getting locked up? That's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, and then you think about it. That's when I ride say, you know, people be hungry. I was an hungry person. I always thought I could make that happen the way I thought. And God, unfortunately, God have a role for you to play. And everything that you have in life that been happened to you in life, but you done did, it molds you and shape you for what you're doing now. Everything that was did, I was doing, been through, came through, walked through, the hurt, the pain, the smile, it shaped me for this moment, you know. And the people that's coming out of jail, they the same way. They can be game changers, you know. There's a lot of people that want to come out and do some right, be productive citizens, but you got to allow them to, though. You got to give them the opportunity. Yeah. Like coming out of jail and force gang. When we get on the radio, you heard we was talking about gangs and organizations. They called in, they ready to ridicule it. You know? And shots out of Chance and the Choice on 90.1 Wednesday, every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. But you was on the show. Yeah. You was on the show, so you see how people mindset are not changed about that. And the only way we could change it is that we got to be able to talk to the ones that's in jail to change it. Because we got a lot of people that's going in jail. Whether people like it or not, it's still happening.
Right.
You know, and if they going to jail, and most people that's out here that's trying to be in an organization, they not up on themselves. And what I mean up on themselves, they don't even know what they represent. They just know they got the head to the left or the right, and they know they're a vice lord or whatever in their neighborhood, and they going along with that. But when they go to prison, guess what? That's when they get up on themselves, and it shouldn't be when they get up on themselves. That's when you run in, that's when you run into the pitfalls and everything else. You know, so it's support system, having a support system for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's some powerful words, bro. I really don't have no questions to that, man, because I feel like the same way that opportunities is what's most important. I've never been incarcerated myself,
right?
Thankfully, you know what I'm saying? But I know plenty of people that have. You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of people that have, and it's unfortunate. You said what?
I say you smarter than I am.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you. I keep saying this a lot. We fight an invisible war with silent weapons, but you, my good man, you the one they want. They won't get you in that prison system and work the skin off you, but somehow you manage to
stay up at it.
And you doing good things. That's why, you know, like when I first met you, I saw you at the, what's the name? I was sitting there, and everything that's going on now, I was looking at it right then. That's why I immediately came up. I said, man, y'all want to be on my show? You know, I got a show. Me and Smoke D, we doing a show. I want to be able to highlight y'all. You know, because like a lot of the youth is not being highlighted about some of the. We went to Tougaloo. You got a president over there at Tougaloo, and he of the youth. When you talk to this guy, if I put y'all together, all y'all to be great.
Yeah.
Cause great minds think alike. Even he in college and he doing it, and this the key thing. He in college, so he doing the knowledgeable thing for his common sense, book sense. See, you got common sense. See what I'm talking about? Okay. And you got book sense. It's a difference. But you got more common sense. Book sense gonna come just like you say. You can't walk with book sense. You come out here all day with book sense. If you walk in the street, you lose. See, if you ain't got no common sense, you're not gonna win that fight in the streets. Cause everybody, and that's the difference. When I heard him talk, I was talking to him. I was like, man, this dude, he got an intervention. He got an innovative mind. You know, he talking about how to move stuff forward, how he sees stuff. He didn't get shot. See, a lot of kids get shot. A lot of young people get shy when an older person comes to them because they don't know what's their intent, why we asking. If we asking to be combative with them, if we asking them to have confrontation with them, so they get kind of in their shell. And when you catch a person don't be in their shell, just like you, when I catch you don't be in your shell, that's the best person to talk to, because they gonna tell you what's on their mind.
For regardless,
you know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's a big thing right there. What you just said, man, like. The youth not being comfortable to open up to our older generations, man. Because first off, we from the South. Everybody know we from the South, man. You respect your elders.
That's right.
And especially when you young, especially you got older, like mama and them, or big mama, you talk when you spoken to. If it's a room of adults, you know what I'm saying? So like that type of stuff do pass down. But I feel like if we can open a dialogue, like if we can get the older generation to just start telling the youth that we willing to listen. Right. That don't mean we're gonna agree with everything the child say. Of course not. Not everybody gotta agree. But we are down to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a lot of youth don't understand that y'all even want to hear this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna speak up because that's just me. I'm gonna speak on what I see. But at the end of the day, that's not every youth. So like, how do we introduce the topic? How do we break the ice, man? Like, what do you see? How do you feel like we can relate as a community, bro? Because, you know what I'm saying, the disconnect is there, but it's also, we connect on so many levels still. It's still ways we connect. Like, we connect right now. You know what I'm saying? Just this interaction by itself. But, like, how do we make it a broader scale? That's the whole focus of what I'm trying to do and the questions that I ask. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can see, like, real quick, just make connections and make connections with the connections you make.
Network.
Just like he speak of the young fella, the young president over at Tougaloo, that would be a great idea to do exactly what you know, to just answer your question with action, right? Then looking at some young guys out of Brinkley that are younger, a little bit your generation. So you got 3 generations there. Right. You see, and in order for something to engage, you have to get it all in the same room. Right. What's the contact point? One could say music. One could say video game. Food definitely is a center vocal point of any clandestine situation with, you know, people involved. So, yes, some sort of situation like that, but I think that it would have to be consistent. It wouldn't be having to be no one-time thing. You have to take it on and really take this stuff on and like make it a part of your life, whoever you engage, and that would make the most sense because the grown-ups don't respect the kids, right? And so how do they, you know, they're not gonna care. Right. Who would want to talk to you if you're not willing to listen? Right. You know, you jump down, throw parent got something going on. The kid, he may have something that he wants to bring to it, but he's scared, so he don't talk to it. The kid go try to fix it and get in worse trouble than he got in before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah.
I feel it.
It's more like when I think about love, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the love in a person's heart. You know, a lot of people say that, but how many mean it? You know, how many mean what they say? Right. It ain't just gotta be love, but what they say. A lot of people dress everything up. But how many people really mean what they say? I live that life where people look me in my face and be like, man, that dude's a good guy. And I can sense the vibe in them that you really don't mean that. Right. And then, you know, later on down the line, I find out you done said something else you shouldn't have been saying about me, you know. But I used to be the type of person when I was in the night that wanted to dress everything, straighten everything. Now I'm the type of person, if it ain't affecting me physically, you know, I'm there just let, you know, get on down. But it's mostly got to do with love, caring about another person, life, you know, because like I don't want to take nobody's life. You know, but I do want to protect my life. Right. So in the end, sometimes you have to be in that situation. But the people that have been in that situation, let that be that situation. No, but people that know wrong should not do wrong. And that's just simple. You do as you want it, as you would want did to you. Right. And when you start doing stuff and you just can't see that you're not doing what you want did to you, then something wrong with you. You know. You get out the car and rob somebody, then somebody get out the car and rob you, but you ready, they robbed it. You just done it, though.
Take your lead.
You just done it, man. Yeah. So accept it.
You know what amazes me though the most is that they be a graveyard monster killer silverback. And then they get in that courtroom and they start crying.
Yeah.
I'm talking about crying. Yeah, like.
Cause they want, I feel like
what
they understand what they was really trying to, you know what I'm saying? They understand the gravity of the situation.
They ain't understand the side.
Yeah, they understand.
They ain't understand the side.
Nah,
but I'm saying, I'm saying, no, help me understand that. Hold on, you did it.
I can't help you understand it because I ain't never been in this situation.
You did it,
but at the same time,
what you crying for?
Think about it.
You know you
went
in there and you put your foot on them people though. You shot them, killed 5 or 6 of them dead, and now you crying. We know why you crying, but why you crying?
I don't know. You know
what I'm saying?
You have to ask that person. You get what I'm saying? At the point of people that do that stuff, like I just be disappointed in the people because when they do it, they tell it. They become a snitch. See, I ain't never been a snitch.
Right.
I ain't never been associated with a snitch. If I did what I did, I held up for it. I took my lick. I ain't cried about nobody else, even when I was in a position where I knew I could have got out of it. All I had to do was just give a nod or a point or anything. I shut my mouth, went through the door because I knew I was part of that situation. You know, and that's the part that I'll be talking about. When you make yourself a part of a situation, accept your lick in that situation. Yeah. Don't go to pointing fingers at everybody else because shit didn't go right for your ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you want to make your shit everybody else shit.
Right.
No,
and that's in every aspect. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's every aspect of life. Not even with just snitching, but shit, ownership of what you got. You know what I'm saying? Ownership of what you done. Shit, karma is a real
thing.
Accountability. You know what I'm saying? Being accountable for your actions. Shit, I'm a firm believer that the universe is gonna give you what you put out into the universe.
And I think if they do that, be accountable for what they do. A lot of stuff it'll change.
I think that being accountable or accountability, if you will, that's one of the main attributes of being a man. Because if you're going to tell the truth about yourself, own yourself, to everybody and anybody, what that means? That you don't give a damn about what nobody think. And you're going to respect yourself on a high level, you're going to love yourself on a high level, and nobody else ain't going to do no love. Only people you're going to accept in it, I don't care, in the nonsense from is the people you love.
Right.
That's it.
I cuss for. I ain't accepting none of that motherfucking shit. I ain't trying to hide that shit. Fuck that shit. Look, I'm trying to build my motherfucking table. That's just plain point. I done did it before and I know how to do it now. So I'm trying to build my table so you know it's finger to your table. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't with the progress of what we trying to do, it's simple. God didn't sit us, he ain't send no weakness to do the job.
No, we ain't come to like you. It don't matter like who you are, what you got. Like it's about being a real person in spirit, man. When a person identify you by your spirit, and they can say, I would rather accept a penny from a good-spirited person than accept $1 billion from a chump. See what I'm saying? Because it's the spirit and the intent of which it was given.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
That go with the saying.
If I don't accept you, I ain't accepting nothing from you.
They go with that saying.
Hands down, both palms.
You know they go with the saying.
On that.
You know they go with the saying. That's what he said. I'd rather eat crumbs with buns than eat steak with fate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be in the streets doing my thing than to be with some people. If I didn't believe in the cause that I'm preaching and pushing around and the line that I'm pushing, I wouldn't be a part of it. So if I'm willing to push it, I'm willing to die for it. You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, when I speak the truth, I don't have no barriers on the truth. I got to tell it how it is.
And then say the F word.
Right?
Ain't
no more control.
How it turn out, I want to, screw how it turn out. Yeah. For real. Cause like, as long as you do
Hey, but yeah, like you said, though, fuck how it turned out. Like, real talk. And that's the mentality that I feel like we need to have as just a whole society, old and young. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as we realize that as a collective, that our goals is what matter, and it don't nobody else's opinion of our communities matter, bro. In any aspect, nobody matters except us when it come to us, bro.
Right. The willing. That's right. Y'all do y'all. We gonna do us.
Exactly.
Right? And that's how it's gonna. And that way it should be cool, but. I mean, in any situation like that, man, it's going to be a large amount of growing pain, and that's just to be understood that it come with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of licks that's going to have to be taken just to even do good.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
And at the end of the day, everybody going to have to come together.
Yeah.
That's point blank. Me's of the mind. You gonna look. It's gonna be some time you ain't gonna like the person you talking to. That don't mean that you don't got love for them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In order to operate with somebody, you gotta be able to have love for them. You gotta be able to be yourself. They gotta be able to be themselves. If you can't be that, and you can't concentrate like that, if you think of one mind in a dictatorship mind frame, and everything your way, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, and
that ain't gonna work.
And that go back to communication. That's the point we was making earlier. You know what I'm saying? Just, I feel like, and it's gonna be, and this is my final point. Just as far as what I feel like we can do as a community, and as a community we can communicate.
Right.
Communication is the first step in every revolution.
Right.
Education and communication. You can't communicate. You can't educate nobody without talking to them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get y'all final points. Like, how do y'all feel? Yeah, but how do y'all feel about just the community and like y'all final words on how y'all feel like we can help and, you know what I'm saying, promote y'all cities, man. How you feel like what steps we can take, you know what I'm saying, towards a brighter future. You know what I'm saying? What's the if you could put it in one sentence, then I mean, like,
I think the for me, I'm gonna be real with this, to become financially sustainable, because you can't do anything without money. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So
Me, I think you need money. You need the energy to do it. You need the people to do it. The people got to be concise with each other. They got to be open-hearted with each other. They got to be able to receive just as well as give. You got to be the mind frame about the saying you been. Like all these non-profit programs around. But if everybody preaching the same thing, why we ain't together?
right.
Why we ain't at every meeting together?
Yeah.
You know, every time they have a throwdown, it should be every non-profit should be right there.
Building that financial stability. You got an event, every 503C in Jackson seem to be there, you know,
networking,
and then that way you build each other up. You got a whole conglomerate of people working together with financial stability. And the more financial stability you got, the more financial stability you gonna get. Yeah.
That's facts. Hey, I appreciate y'all time, man. Thank y'all so much for the knowledge, bro. Like, this is a great conversation, man. So thank y'all for y'all time, bro.
Man, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, and we gonna run it back.
Hey, don't
90.1 next Wednesday.
Not next with the Wednesday, next
Wednesday after next Wednesday.
Yeah, 9 o'clock in the morning. Y'all hear that right?
We gonna be on there.
9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning.
We gonna get that freestyle session crunk.
Hey, we gonna do that, man. Hey, peace, y'all.
Peace.
Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker.